Yeah, so happy to have Philip and Truett, the two guys that make up Briscoe. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to sit here chat with me. How's things been?
First off, thanks, man. Thanks for having us on. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, dude, things have been great. We're in the process of releasing new music for an upcoming record right now. So that's kind of been our summer thus far. It's been super sweet, super exciting stuff.
Amazing. So I guess let's start with the easiest question, right? So I'm sure it's one you guys have answered before, but how did Briscoe get started? What's the origin story of y'all making music together?
Yeah,
Yeah.
great question. We originally met back at a summer camp a little over 10 years ago now, right around 10 years ago, as campers. Grew up in different cities in Texas, but hit it off at this summer camp, stayed good friends, and over the next couple years would visit each other. I grew up in San Antonio, Texas, and Philip grew up in San Angelo, and so anytime we would find ourselves in the other person's city, we'd hang out, play some music and whatnot. And then around high school, Philip, if you want to take it from here.
Yeah, I was like kind of late high school, and I'd really gotten a knack for writing songs just for fun, honestly. And I decided I wanted to do some demos and started kind of selling CDs on my high school campus. The classic mixtape kind of thing.
Yeah,
And pretty much just coined it as Briscoe. Briscoe is was my grandfather's middle name, and it's an old family name of mine, and I always loved the name. And I thought it'd be a cool name for a band one day, so I started it back in high school, and then Truett and I ended up together at the University of Texas, and that's really where Briscoe kind of started to come to life, and where we started gigging and started recording some more music in Austin.
amazing. Yeah, the thought of pushing mixtapes at high school doesn't even like occur to me. So like I graduated with like 70 kids, so I don't know. Y'all must have had much bigger high school. I don't think pushing a mixtape up this way would have worked as well. Um, so now both of you come from Texas. Now, obviously, is there a lot of influence, just kind of where you grew up in your music?
Yeah, I think there's a ton of influence for sure. I think we both were fortunate to have a bunch of musical influence from our parents as well, like each respective parents. And I mean, for me, my dad brought a lot of kind of rock and roll and different rock bands all the way. He was a big Pink Floyd guy and Led Zeppelin guy, and then when I was growing up, he was really big on Dave Matthews Band and U2 and bands like that. So I kind of got that from that side, and then my mom was just a country music fanatic. She loved it all, and so guys like Jerry Jeff Walker that we've come to love, that are just kind of Texas royalty. We definitely got some of that from our parents, and then yeah, and then just growing up too in Texas, there's so many good musicians in every genre that yeah, there's just incredible musicians in every genre. Obviously Texas country is huge, and there's a ton of really awesome country musicians. You got like your Flatland Cavalry's of the world, your Parker McCollums, of course, going all the way back to Willie Nelson and George Strait and Chris Christopherson and all those. But there's also really great bands in plenty of other genres as well. Definitely, especially now, we consume a lot of country music, a lot of folk music. It's just some of the best in the world coming out of Texas.
Yeah. So you kind of talked about your influences in that sense, but like so you guys say you consume a lot of music now. Maybe not even the music you're consuming now, but like when in high school and coming through college, when you kind of found, your own ear away from your parents' ear, what kind of music were you just continuing what they kind of, had you listening to as a kid, or did you kind of branch off into, like me personally, I went through like this, I don't know, a little bit of like a punk heavy rock phase. I listened to like Rise Against for a little while and like Circus Survive, like bands like that. Did you guys kind of break off into that, or was it just straight, kind of what your parents had you listening to?
That's a great question. I would say I think I can like kind of answer on both of our behalfs that we never like both being kind of like raised on this like mid 70s like folk rock country singer songwriter scene as just being like the gold standard for music that we loved. I think that we definitely like had phases of listening to other music, but I think that we've never, I guess, strayed too far from that. I think that even like that mid 70s kind of folk rock country whatever singer songwriter sound means a lot of different things, but that's definitely our bread and butter. And I think that our influences, go back to listening to that when we were young. And I think that's still like, if we're on tour today, like 90, I'll say like 70% of the time we're playing a song from the decade 1970.
Yeah, no doubt. So I think the song that I had found you guys through originally was a song called Hooped Earrings. Sorry. And I would just love to kind of hear the process behind writing that and releasing it, and maybe what the earliest demo sounded like to like what the final cut ended up, how different maybe it was.
Yeah, it was, that was perhaps our most genius display of songwriting to this day. We were recording other music, and for some reason on the way to and from the studio that we were recording at in San Angelo, where Philip is from. Anyway, we listened to the song Ophelia probably 15 times, and we're by the band, and we're like, this song is unreal. It's so good. It's a rock band that just grooves. You've got Levon Helm singing with like his southern drawl over like a horn section in an electric guitar and stuff, and we were like, how hard can it be to write a song like that? Like, let's try it. And so we sat down and started throwing around ideas, and it ended up being just nothing, not even close to like
Right.
but we ended up with Hooped Earrings, and if nothing else, it was just a lot of fun. And so we kind of wrote it and pocketed it for a little while, and then as we started playing shows around Austin, we kind of started playing it, and it became pretty clear, like, oh, we should record this. This is fun. It was a lot of fun. And, and then I'd say it's pretty similar to how we recorded it, or how we wrote it. When we wrote it, it was just us with a guitar and a saxophone, but and we definitely had some fun with like layering as many sax harmonies as possible on the final mix. But I'd say it's pretty similar.
Yeah. I mean, definitely the song I found you guys through, and I think in general, like your music kind of reminds me of, I wouldn't call it like straight country, but it reminds me a little bit of like Houndmouth, or like, I don't know, like that like folk rock-ish sound, that seems to be really popular nowadays. So you guys kind of mentioned at the start you have an upcoming album in September. Can we, maybe just talk a little bit about kind of the overarching themes of the album, and maybe what everybody can expect to hear from it, once it's finally out?
Yeah, absolutely. Super pumped about the record. The record is called Heat of July, and it is. Gosh, I'm trying to think of like how to kind of sum it up here. I think that like some of our biggest like topics, if you will, that kind of carry through a bunch of the songs are the fact that we kind of wrote this album, most of the songs on this album, within this kind of first year or two of us actually touring full time. So we put out our debut record, and we wrote most of these songs on the road. And I think that you kind of see that play out through, landscape imagery, relationships with people that we'd meet on the road. I think that's definitely a theme of this record. Is it just moves in a way that I feel like reflects the way that we were moving on the road at the time when we were writing a lot of these songs. I think the other kind of big key player here is both Truett and I got married to our wives in the past year or two now. And we're kind of like writing songs as well during that time. And I think that this album kind of reflects a bit of that like maturity in those relationships as well. So I think that those are kind of like two big themes, as well of just like our love for the outdoors, kind of, connecting all the songs, and most of the metaphors and imagery is going to be related to some, trip or experience that we had outside. But yeah, those are kind of the biggest themes, I would say, through
Yeah. So now, like, obviously the album's, I would assume mostly done, if not completely done. Are you guys, you're obviously excited, but is there some kind of like anxiousness or anticipation, or, you have to kind of wait for so long, it feels like, for it to be finally out, for everybody to kind of hear?
Yeah, it's funny. I don't think most people realize, and because I certainly didn't realize until recording an album, just like the delay in, I mean, if going all the way back, the delay from like when you write a song until that song gets released, and it's kind of changing a little bit when you've got like guys like Zach Bryan who are putting out songs all the time. But yeah, with this record, I mean, we've had it pretty much wrapped up since, I mean, it was like 99% done by like last December. Put some final touches in February, and then got it mastered shortly after that. And so yeah, it's been ready to go for a while, which brings, like you said, a lot of anticipation, a lot of anxious waiting.
Yeah, I mean, the anxious waiting, like, I mean, I get that way over, it's really silly, I get that way over like things that I work on, and it's like a week that I'm holding on to it, and you guys are holding on to something for months and months and months. Like, I can't, and I consider myself a pretty patient person the way it is. So I don't know if I could last that long holding on to something that I care about so much, like you guys would making, an album. When you guys are writing music, you guys co-write a lot together, or is it stuff that you're kind of bringing separate ideas to the table? Are you guys writing with other folks? What's that process look like for you guys?
Yeah, that's a great question. Our writing process is fairly independent, I would say. In terms of what you hear in our recorded music, like 95% of the time, if Truett's singing lead, he wrote it, and if I'm singing lead, then I wrote it. And yeah, we kind of, I would say most of the time, write independently. And then when we come in to record is when we a lot of times will bounce like, hey, this verse, I know I can do better here. Like, let's workshop this, or I want a word here, or I'm considering adding a bridge to this song, that kind of thing. But neither of us are huge co-writers, I would say. I feel like we probably like function most naturally independently. I'll at least speak for myself there. And like to kind of like bring it in almost like a consultant relationship.
Gotcha.
And get advice from both Truett, and we've been fortunate to work with this producer out of North Carolina, Brad Cook, for the last couple records, and it's always a huge pleasure for us to put these songs in front of him and get his 2 cents, because he's a wise man and always has some good things to say.
Yeah, no doubt. It's interesting because, like, I feel like, I mean, maybe it's dependent on where you kind of come from. I feel like anybody in like that, a lot of people in that singer-songwriter scene will tend to like write songs together, or collaborate with other people. Only like a handful of people I feel like I've talked to are like solitary, kind of like what it sounds like you guys are. Now, are you ever writing a song with kind of that live performance in mind, or are you just kind of writing and if it fits for the live song, it kind of fits for the live song?
Dude, I think
Go ahead, Trey.
and if this cuts out, Phil, you take it. I have no idea what's going on here, and so I apologize. But
You're good.
I think for the most part, if you're writing songs for the sake of like, hey, this will impress people, then it's like, usually that's tough, or like, I'm writing this because it's a cool song, and it's such an easy trap to fall into. And so when you're really wanting to put forth like your best artistic effort, then you've got to just like get out of that mindset. With that said, it's so hard not to like, especially like as people, like we love writing songs, but we also love performing. Like it's so much fun. And it's really hard, especially as you start recording and getting layers and getting different parts in, it's really hard not to imagine playing it live and let that kind of inform where you go with that, and build up various things. And in some songs, you've already played live a couple times, so you have kind of an idea. But yeah, it's definitely like there's a song called Hill Country Baby off of our first record, and that was one that we started playing live. And as I was writing that song, it was just like, yeah, this is going to be just a live, fun, groove,
Right.
lots of drums, lots of organ, guitar kind of thing, lots of sax, smack you in the face. And yeah, and it's fun. It's super fun.
So can we like, we'll pivot here and talk about so obviously you guys are in the day and age where artists wear a million different hats, very unlike the ones you're wearing currently. In terms of social media, are you guys enjoyers of social media? Now you say you consume a lot of music, but do you consume a lot of social media? Is it something you enjoy doing? Is it something more of a necessary evil situation for you guys?
Oh man, that's such a good question. Social media and our relationship with social media. I would say that we are not consumers naturally of social media. Like neither of us have TikTok into/good at like short form video. Um, but obviously that is like such a tool and an asset in this industry. So we try to do a good job, and I think we try to remain genuine in how we approach it. I think that's like our only qualm with it is when we feel like an artist is like sacrificing what they're trying to say in their songs by how they're presenting themselves on social media, and I think that's what we're really trying to retain. We haven't had like any crazy notable success through social media. Most of our success, or most of like how we've been able to build the band so far, has been just through getting in front of people and playing these songs, which is equal parts good because we form lifelong fans doing that. But it's difficult because it's competitive in the social media world. It really is, and we know that we've got room to grow, and that's a tool that we can learn better. But yeah, that's Truett. I'm curious if you have any other thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think we like looking up now. We've come a long way in terms of the way that we think about and approach social media, and obviously we're 23 and 24 years old. Like we grew up kind of right in the heart of the Instagram, and Snapchat, and maybe a little bit ahead of the TikTok thing, but it's all kind of in our vicinity, and we're like online. But we had a call with a social media guy a couple months ago, and he used the term chronically online. Is the first time that I had heard that. I would say we're for sure not chronically online, and we've had to learn like a lot of how to like make content to promote and to utilize the tool that social media is, and we're still learning. Like I think in a lot of ways some artists do a really good job of like showing off their personality, and I think that's something that we're a little bit not more hesitant to, but it just doesn't come as naturally for us to like set up a camera and then just like kind of do our thing.
Sure.
And so we've really hit it hard with like the music side in terms of like covers and our own songs and live performance stuff. And as we reapproach it now, I think we've got different perspectives and have ideas on like how we can kind of bring people in a little bit more to like what life looks like when we're touring and what we're like and things of that nature. And so like we're no professionals, but
Right.
I think we're learning and growing and excited to continue to do that and continue to utilize it.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I don't think anybody. I mean, there's some people who are really, really, really good at it, and I really don't even consider myself one of those people. it's in terms of artists, yeah, I think as long as you're genuine to who you are, the 10 to 15 second like clip of song is so hard, and it's so hard to fit into that, and it's I don't necessarily think it always showcases, what an artist is really like in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, I mean, as long as you guys are doing what feels good to you, I think that's all that matters. And yeah, like you said, it seems like you've done very well enough for yourselves on the road, building fans that way. And I'm kind of curious. So when you guys are out on the road, do you feel like, now obviously you probably have a ton of support within Texas, right? Being, hometown boys, but like, where else do you guys really kind of enjoy touring, and maybe a favorite spot you've been to outside of Texas?
Yeah, that's a great question. We were super fortunate to get to do a run of shows through college towns with Noah Kahan in the Midwest, close to like 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, obviously he's massive. He's as big as you can get right now.
Right.
And back then he was already, huge. So it was really cool. It was a really great opportunity for us, like we're talking about, just to get in front of people. And we have, like, in the Midwest, we were just talking about this the other day, but the Midwest has such a devout fan group for music. I mean, people that just love to go to shows, they'll drive hours to go to shows. So the Midwest at large is a cool market for us. I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of similarities between like what people like about the kind of Texas outlaw thing. The Midwest like has its own, kind of like independent from the rest of the nation thing going on that we fit into well up there. So we love like, different pockets, like Bloomington, Indiana, for example, is definitely like one of our favorite
Yeah.
towns to play in the nation, which is just so funny. If you'd have told us that like 3 or 4 years ago when we were in college, I didn't even know where Bloomington, Indiana was.
Sure.
So that's really sweet up there. And then North Carolina too. North Carolina's got a lot of folks that will come out to a show and have a good time. Durham especially. Durham's like our second home now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I guess maybe some more less harder questions, more fun questions. If you guys, I'll have each of you answer this one. So if you got stranded somewhere, maybe on tour, you had to pick one guitar that you could have, one album, and one gas station snack. What are we picking?
Fantastic question. So you said one
One
guitar.
of your guitars, yeah.
Okay.
Like a favorite guitar.
One album and one
Yep.
gas station snack.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a fantastic question. I'll start with guitar. I have a 1963 Gibson B25 that I love. I play it. It doesn't have pickups, nor is it. Some work would need to be done to play it live on the road, and I would, be terrified to be traveling with that thing. But it's awesome. So I play it in a lot of the videos that we post on social media, and I love it. So I would take that. A record I would take would probably be Europe 72 by the Grateful Dead. It's a huge record. It's a compilation of live songs for being live recorded in 1972. It's like insanely clear, which is sweet. And some of my favorite tunes of all time are on there. So I would take that. Gas station snack. I will take the biggest bag of beef jerky that you have for me.
Sure.
And be very happy. Just like Old Trapper, like a big bag of Old Trapper.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could
Very
live
reasonable
off of that
choices.
for years.
Phil, what about you?
I'm muted. Here we go.
You're good.
Okay. All right. I had some time to think about it. Guitar, right now in my possession, I only have one truly functioning acoustic guitar. It's a Taylor that was actually my dad's, but then I started like playing at church when I was younger and stuff, and then I just kind of took it. So I'd take that guitar because
Yeah.
it's the guitar I take everywhere. 2, record. What album? I'm going to go recent, and I'm going to take Chris Stapleton, Higher. I just love that record and have been loving that record, and I think that record is timeless. And I think in 20 years, I would still be happy with my decision to take that Stapleton record. Oh my goodness, it is so good. Every song. 3rd thing, gas station snack. I would take Snyder's, I believe is a brand. They're little pretzel crisp things with like mustard seasoning.
Yep.
I'd eat all of them.
Amazing.
As many as you gave me.
Very, 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 very respectable choices. That's the first time I've ever asked that. Maybe the last time. We'll see. Let's go into the song you guys are most proud of. Maybe not your most popular song, but what's one you put out and you just feel really good about it?
Of our released songs?
Yeah.
Phil, if you have one, go for it.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. There's the record that we did, our debut album called West of It All. The first song on there and the song that we kind of like led with is called The Well. And I just love the way that song turned out. I think that the production is super, super true to who we are. I think it's like relatively sparse in the instrumentation. I mean, we're all playing, Truett and I are playing the majority of instruments on the song, and it just feels good. And I love that it's like catchy and that the radio stations played it, but it also like means something to me, and I've been fortunate to have a lot of other folks say that it means something to them too. So yeah, that song's called The Well. I'm really proud of how that one turned out.
I will go Roughnecks, the first single that we released, in a song that I believe you very kindly posted on your Instagram, so thank you so much.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I like that one.
But yeah, just super happy and proud of how it turned out. The idea started with a picture of my great-grandfather who worked in the Texas oil fields, and just kind of developed from there. And so it's a song that I love personally for that reason, and also I just feel like I'm easily able to kind of tie it all into our travels on the road and being gone and doing what you got to do, and missing my wife and Philip missing his wife and so on and so forth. But yeah, just love where it sits lyrically. Love the production choices that we made, and dude, the drums in that song just my favorite. They just move so well. And so I'd be really excited about that.
So amazing choices, honestly. And I'm curious, so you guys are musically chronically online. So I live in a music curation space, so I always love asking, what about a song, an artist that you feel deserves more attention?
That's a great question.
I can start, Phil, if you need a second.
Yeah, you start.
This is like half cheating, not half cheating, but she's like kind of already getting there. Like she's got the tip of a hat. But we played a South by Southwest event here in town with right after a girl named Ken Pomeroy, and I'd never heard of her, and went straight to her music. And my wife and I have been really loving her, and she's just unreal, man. Voice is great, and she writes really, really quality songs. And I think it's gonna be one of those things, kind of similar to Wells, like where Wells is now, like featured on everybody's songs and playing with everybody. I think Ken Pomeroy's already kind of there, but in 2 or 3 years, or like a Sierra Farrell type, like I think she's gonna be like that in the next 2 to 3 years.
Great choice. I'm gonna go with a guy named Thomas Chorba. That's Csorba. Okay. Thomas Chorba. He is out of Texas. He grew up in Houston. He's living like Dallas area now. But he is in the kind of Americana country folk singer-songwriter world. He's he has a few released albums now that are all so good. He's one of the most talented songwriters and somebody that I looked up to. He's a few years older than I am. When I was in high school, I came across his stuff somehow, and I basically like launched Briscoe just by like referencing old Thomas Chorba Instagram posts and just like would rephrase his captions.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
it's been really cool. We've gotten to play quite a few shows with him over the past few years now,
Yeah.
as we've gotten kind of connected in this Texas scene down here. And he's just a great guy. He's a good husband, a good dad, and a great songwriter. And he's got a bunch of great stuff out that just needs some more love. It's already
Yeah.
doing good, a lot of it, but his ceiling is way up there.
Amazing. Yeah, I've heard of Ken Palmer. I've never heard of Thomas Sorba. I think that's how you're saying it.
Yeah, Chorba.
Chorba. Got
Chorba.
you. I'm
Yeah.
on it now.
But
Um,
it's spelled like Sorba. It's like
got you.
CSORBA.
Got you. Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
So I think in kind of wrapping up, you guys obviously have the album coming out. What else is on the horizon here for Briscoe, and what can we look forward to?
Man, one show we're really looking forward to, we're playing Austin City Limits here in Austin, Texas in October. That's something that we've been wanting to do since we started playing music in Austin. That's the
Yeah.
premier Austin music festival and one of the bigger festivals in the world. So we're really excited for that. And then beyond that, man, we're just excited to get this music out. We're really proud of the second record and the way that it turned out, and I think it's easy to see the development in us as songwriters and musicians. So I'm excited for people to hear that, and I'm excited to get back on the road and take it to the people and get back to playing a bunch of shows.
Yeah, I second that. Just
Love it.
to get the new music out and hit the road.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day, and yeah, I'm excited to hear the new album when it comes out, and maybe catch you up this way sooner or later. I seriously appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.